All right, here we go. Hi, guys. Welcome to the very first episode, the intro episode, if you will, of the Dolls of Horror podcast. My name is Summer.
And I'm Tori.
And this podcast has been a long time coming. We have spent a lot of time planning and discussing exactly how we want to do this. Neither of us have ever done a podcast before. And we have been riddled with technical difficulties.
Yep.
So the fact that we are recording now is a minor miracle, isn't that right, Tori?
Yes.
So while we experiment in this new podcast world that we are trying to get our footing in, we also need to send out a special thank you to Wes and Kevin of the It's a Horror podcast, because without their guidance, we probably, in fact, I know that we would not be doing this right now. I have pestered Wes with countless technical questions over the last few months about how to make a podcast and how to make ours as great as theirs, and what equipment he uses and the programs. And he's always so generous with his time. He's never told me to shut up and go away. and even like now, I was thanking him just last week, and he said, I'm here whenever you need me for any questions. So, I mean, we could not have done this without, especially Wes's guidance on this one. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so with that, let's talk about how Tori and I met. We actually met at a convention, isn't that right?
Yes, at the Flashback Weekend in Chicago.
Yes. And it was my very first convention.
Mine too. My very first one too.
And I didn't know that because you looked so at home.
It is. It's like home. It is. It's like home. It is.
You know, I felt like I was home as soon as I walked in, but I was also super nervous because I'm quite shy. And I was afraid to talk to anybody. And I was just in awe of being around so many people that were exactly like me.
Exactly.
You know, and just felt completely like at home with my tribe, with my people. And I was standing in line for a Nightmare on Elm Street photo op right behind Tori. And I looked down at your beautiful custom painted Freddy Krueger shoes. And I told you how much I love them, and the rest is history.
Yes. And you liked them, and and you said that I asked you who you were there with, and you said you were alone.
Yes.
And I was like, well, not anymore. I was like, not anymore, because you're with me all weekend. So
yes.
Yeah.
And then I knew I'd made a best friend.
Yes, instantly. Instant best friends. We were inseparable after that.
We really were. And we have been texting each other constantly for the last few years, ever since. So what was that? 2017, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, wow. Conventions bring friends. Shoes bring friends.
Yes. If anyone feels alone, or like they don't have anybody with similar interest, if you're part of the horror community, everybody is family. Go to a convention. Just go by yourself if you have to. And I guarantee you will make a friend, because people are so friendly, and they're so welcoming, and it is your tribe. It is your family. You will make friends, and they will be friends like you've never had before.
Yes.
And it's addicting. 2017 was my first convention, and I've been to probably 10 since then, if not more. I mean, it's addicting.
I've only been to 3 total, because Flashback is my local convention. And so I haven't quite ventured out to the other conventions. But I definitely want to hit other conventions around the country, and even globally. I've heard of some good ones in England, and one in Germany that I was interested in at some point, maybe in the future, the distant future, because I'm poor, because I go to conventions.
Exactly. That is one thing. That's one thing. Yep. You will be broke. You will be broke because you will want to buy everything.
And I do.
Yeah, and I do too. Yes.
Yes.
And then I leave the convention and then I get online and buy more stuff because stuff is fun. I love stuff. So.
I love stuff too, and I have a very small apartment, so that's not good for me
Yeah.
at all. And so if you guys love stuff, tell us about the stuff you love. We want to know.
Yes. Let us know.
We love
we will
stuff.
we will talk about how you can do that towards the end of the episode, how you can get a hold of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you want to give a quick shout out to the fabulous person that painted your shoes for you? Because they were the best I've ever seen.
Yes. Her name is Rhonda Savage, and she's on Etsy. Her shop is called Seriously Savage, and she's amazing. I love her. She's very reasonably priced, very talented. She will do pretty much anything you ask her to do. I sent her pictures of Robert England and Heather Langenkamp, Freddie and Nancy. I sent her 2 pictures. I said, okay, I want Freddie on one shoe and Heather on the other. And I told her how I wanted it done, what I wanted it to look like. And she did it exactly the way I wanted it to a T. She kept me updated. She sent me pictures, asked me if I liked it. Everything was customized to my liking, and she made sure it was exactly what I wanted before she shipped it out.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the customer service on Etsy is like no other. It's you're dealing with a real person, and Rhonda really cares about her customers. And she has made multiple shoes for me. I'm addicted now. It's another addiction. And
yes.
Yeah, and so my shoes are amazing. I've made 2 friends, you and Jen. Jen also was at the convention in 2017.
Jen!
She saw my shoes. Yep, Jen, we love you, Jen.
We love you.
Saw my shoes. She saw my shoes at breakfast. I was sitting eating breakfast, and she came and sat down at the table next to me, and she's like, "Oh my God, your shoes. Can I take a picture?" I was like, "Of course." And the rest is history with that as well. And then, of course, I got Robert to sign my shoes, and he loved them. He absolutely loved them, and which melted my heart. I cried. Oh. So, yeah, you guys need to check her out. Her shop is amazing. So, and I think my shoes, I think I left a review with a picture of my shoes. So check it out.
Well, we'll also post a picture because the shoes are just fantastic. And the detail on the painting, everything was just spectacular. It was like a real painting, but on canvas shoes. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
All right. And Rhonda is actually on vacation right now. Her shop is, but I do hope she comes back soon because, gosh darn it, I want some shoes too.
We need shoes.
We need shoes. Now, isn't that a girl statement, huh?
Yes. Yes. This is a horror podcast. Okay, we love horror, but we want to add some girly parts to it.
Yes.
So
now we're going to have some man parts to it too. Like it won't be all girly.
Yeah. But there are a few girly aspects. So
totally.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be great. So with that, let me ask you, what was the movie that made you fall in love with horror?
It was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
It was made in 1984, which was the same year I was born.
Yes. Yay.
And I don't know how young I was. I was young though. And my dad had put it on TV. We had ordered pizza. I remember sitting on the couch, eating pizza. He had put it on, and I don't know what it was. It just caught my attention, and it's had my attention ever since. It's just a great movie. I mean, it's what made me fall in love with horror and fall in love with Freddie, and I just distinctly remember sitting there watching it, and I wasn't scared. I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was cool and fun and different and exciting. And the fact that it was about your dreams, and people do have nightmares.
Yes.
I mean, how much more relatable is that?
And everyone has to go to sleep at some point.
Yes, exactly. And right? I was not afraid to go to sleep that night. I just really enjoyed it. I just really, really enjoyed it. And from then on, I mean, I haven't been able to stop.
Same. I haven't been able to stop.
So, what was the movie that started it all for you?
Mine was Suspiria. I'm pretty sure I was probably around 8 years old, and I was at my grandmother's house because that's where I spent most of my weekends because I was an only child at the time. And she had a lot of foster kids and a few adopted kids, just a house full of kids of all different ages. And so I always spent my weekends there so I could play. And my favorite of her foster kids was this girl named Deanna. And I always called her Aunt Deanna, and I looked up to her so much. My grandmother had her pretty much until she was a grown up. So she had her for a long time since she was a child. And I thought she was so beautiful, and I wanted to be just like Deanna. And so when we would go to the video store and rent movies, when Deanna rented this movie, Suspiria, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about, but I also have a love for dance. So the fact that it had ballet in it got me right away. And then I've also loved witches ever since The Worst Witch. So it had witches and ballet. And so I was instantly hooked and in love. I remember coming home on Sunday morning from my weekend at grandma's and running up to my parents in excitement and saying, I just saw my first horror movie. And they're like, horror movie? And once they realized what I was saying, they're like, oh, well, they weren't too happy about it, but they were really glad I wasn't watching some porn.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, after that, it was all horror all the time. I could not stop. I wanted to see it all. I can remember that as my first horror movie. I can't remember what I saw next. I can't remember what order it was. I don't know which Nightmare on Elm Street movie I saw first. I don't think I do not think that it was part one. But
Oh, well.
I watched so many horror movies so quickly. Every weekend it was several, and I was seeking them out on TV, on like TNT and USA and all those channels. They always showed them. That it was just like, rapid fire. Give me all the horror.
Yes. Eat it up.
Eat it up.
Yes.
So, addicted since 8 years old. That's my drug. It's my drug of choice.
Well, and whenever you're a kid, I think it can be a very taboo thing because you're not supposed to technically really be watching it.
I know, right?
And so that draws you in even more.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to be watching it. And so then you want to watch it more. And so, yeah, it's just I definitely see people getting into horror more as children as opposed to adults.
Yeah.
If you're not into horror by the time you're an adult, you're probably not going to ever be into horror. At least not as hardcore.
Right. You'll like it a little bit, but
yeah.
You won't be diehard.
But for people that started in their childhood, it is diehard. It is part of their childhood. It's part of their memories, and your childhood memories are part of you in a way that nothing else ever will be.
They definitely are. And that's the one part that I'm glad to keep around,
Yes.
Yes. And it's just the best. I love it so much. And that sounds crazy, but also it is a complete break from the horrific reality of the real world. I mean, there's no such thing as a Freddy Krueger. There's no such thing as a Michael Myers or a Jason Voorhees where you kill them no matter how many times and they still come back. They're superhuman. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And here we are in this day and age where tragedies are happening everywhere all the time. On this day that we are recording, it is November 16th. A couple of days ago, there was another school shooting in Santa Clarita, California. There were fatalities. It is awful. And this is why I love horror, because it is better than that.
Yes, it is better than reality.
Yeah, because that is scary.
Yes.
This is not. That is real life, and that is scary. you
Yes,
know.
I agree.
And that's another reason I also don't care for the super realistic horror movies, you know. I prefer something
Yes.
that's more fantasy based, you know, like the ones from the 80s.
Yes. The ones from the 80s are they're so hilarious. Some of them are they're so bad, but you have to love them.
Oh, I just think they're great. I don't think they're
Yes.
bad at all.
Well, it's like there's one movie, I don't know its name, but I loved it as a kid. I loved it. And then
Well,
I
what was it
watched
about?
it.
Maybe our listeners can help us out.
Um it was about apples
Apples.
or something, and the apples were infested with worms, and I don't remember a whole bunch of it, but it's like there is a couple and they had a child or something, and they were apple farmers that had a bunch of apple trees, and when they went to harvest the apples, they were full of worms and they were rotten.
Oh dear.
And it's not, I don't know if it's technically a horror movie, but it seemed like a horror movie to me whenever I was a child.
Right.
And then I just decided to look it up as an adult. This is years ago. I decided to look it up as an adult, and I found it and I was like, oh yeah, awesome, I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it, and I was literally laughing. I was blown away because the special effects were so like I could see PVC pipe. Like that's how bad these special effects were. I could see the actual PVC pipe and other things. I'm like, but whenever I was a kid, it was intriguing and it was interesting and it was, amazing. And now as an adult, like I said, it's just so funny and so dumb and so
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's part of my childhood, so it'll always have that special place in my heart because it was part of my
definitely.
childhood.
Well, you need to figure
Yeah.
out what that movie's called so I can go and watch it.
I will, so we can update our listeners about what that movie was.
About the
I will find
Apple
it for
movie.
sure. I'm pretty sure it was Apple.
I'm like, that sounds like a very twisted Snow White.
Right? Yes, I love Disney as well. That's another Disney and horror. It's really is crazy because ever since my first convention, I've met more and more horror fans, and that are hardcore horror fans like we are. I've met more and more of them, and almost all of them are horror and Disney lovers, and it just seems like it goes hand in hand so well. It really, horror and Disney.
Wow, I never thought of it like that, but I prefer the original fairy tales, like the original Grimm's brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Disney made it too soft for me. They made it too happy. But those fairy tales were freaking scary. That's horror right there.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know? I mean, geez. I mean, those are terrifying in itself. If you ever read the original stories, I don't know if you have.
Yeah. Well, there's some. Yeah. I mean, fables, fairy tales, passed down from generation to generation. People have been trying to scare children for a very long time. It did not just start with I mean, this is nothing new. People like to scare children for one reason or another.
Because it's fun.
So, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, that's so cool. What's your favorite genre of horror?
I would say probably around 15 or so.
No, genre.
I don't, I'm telling the story.
Okay.
Okay. So around 15 or so, I got this really big, giant Creature from the Black Lagoon poster. And I hung it above my bed. And this thing was massive. It was not just like a 24 by 36. This thing was huge. And it was the old classic Creature from the Black Lagoon. And I was just taken with it. The graphics and the colors and the story. I mean, in the old ones, the 1950s genre is like, it's all about rescuing a damsel in distress.
That's true.
And I don't know. So after I got that first Creature from the Black Lagoon poster, that was it. I was really interested in the 1950s, and that is my favorite genre, is Creature from the Black Lagoon, and maybe, Nosferatu, and the older classic horror movies that were done so simply and so elegantly, and just it's a classic. I mean, they are true classics. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street, yes, that's a classic. And, the original Halloween, yeah, that's a classic too. But these are classics. These are black, some and white. So, and I don't know why, but I just fell in love. I fell in love, and still to this day, I love Nosferatu. I'll watch it here and there. I'll watch Creature from the Black Lagoon. Um, just all of that. I love
There's
the 1950s.
there's also a romanticism about the 50s movies,
Yeah, yeah.
down to like the camera angles and how it's shot, and the story.
Yes. And Dracula was romanticized. It was all
Oh yeah,
romantic, you know, and
it was a
and
love story.
Frankenstein. Yeah, they were all love stories, you know. They
Yes,
all the monsters just wanted to be loved. And that's, you know, we were talking about that not too long ago about how horror and romance go hand in hand.
definitely.
It really does in so many different ways. And it's amazing.
Yeah,
And I think horror and romance go so well together because it's the adrenaline rush and it's the best of both things. You know, what gives you the feels more than anything?
true.
Being
Fear.
scared, being scared and being in love. Those
Yeah,
two things will give you the feels like you've never had before. So you mix them together and it's like something on steroids, you know?
overload.
Yeah. So that's what makes it so amazing. So what is your favorite genre?
Well, I love the slashers the best. 1970s and 80s and early
Yes.
90s specifically.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I like a lot of the later 90s and early 2000s as well, but after that they kind of lost me. Now, I'll still watch the new stuff because that's all I can watch, like if I want to see a movie in a theater,
Mhm.
that's my only option.
Mhm.
But I'm ride and die slasher.
Okay. Awesome.
And I don't know why. It's probably just the nostalgia value as well, just like you.
Yes.
But I just love it so much. It's just fun and just I don't know. Maybe our listeners can tell me why I love it so much. Shrink me.
Yeah, they can tell, and they can tell us why they love it, and maybe you can relate.
Yes.
I
I'll be
mean,
like, yes,
yeah,
that's it. That's exactly why. Thank you.
exactly. Yeah. So, what was the first horror movie that actually got you scared?
Well,
Or were there? Was there one? Have you ever been scared?
not, I mean, parts of movies scared me. Um, I specifically remember watching Poltergeist, which
Mm-hmm.
oddly enough is a PG rated movie.
Oh wow, I did not know
It's
that.
it's not even PG-13, it's straight up PG. But
Wow.
there's the one scene where the guy is in the mirror and he starts like ripping chunks of his face off and it's falling
Mm-hmm.
into the sink.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But again, it was just that one scene. Not even the clown doll scene got me. It was that scene that got me.
Mm-hmm. Well, of
And
course, you love dolls.
I do love dolls. I'm a doll collector. I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, where Philip was sleepwalking when his veins were being cut out of his body. That freaked me out a little
That's my favorite. That's my
bit.
favorite kill. I love that.
That's a great kill. But
It
that
is.
that visual freaked me out. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it just has to do with I don't really like the insides. I don't like guts like
But you like slasher though.
I do, but like don't make me watch ER.
That's hilarious.
And so both of those scenes that freaked me out have to do with the body coming apart. So I think maybe
Yeah.
that has something to do with it. And I do remember at a very very young age sneaking into the living room and trying to watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space and
Mm-hmm.
seeing a scene that freaked me out and promptly running right back to my bedroom to hide. I was probably maybe 5 years old or so. I was not supposed to be watching this movie. I knew it, but it had clowns in it, so I figured it must be for kids, right? Yeah, and I wish I could remember the scene that freaked me out. I've actually watched it several times since trying to remember which scene freaked me out, and
Oh
I
wow.
still don't remember.
Okay. You
But
blocked it out.
I blocked it out. It traumatized me. So 5 years old is too young. 8 years old is just right.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
Right.
For me.
Right.
So, what is your very favorite horror movie? Is it Creature from the Black Lagoon, like you said, or is it Nightmare on Elm Street, or is it something else entirely, a standalone?
I would say my favorite horror movie, it's hard to pick a favorite.
It really is.
But it has to be Sinister.
Yes.
Because I don't know what it is about Sinister. It just got to me. I do have children. I don't know if it's that got to me, or the kills. I mean, the way the kills are done, I just love it. And the music they play, and the fact that it's all on really old, like, what is it, 8mm?
Yeah, the reel, yeah.
Yeah, I just love everything about it. Love it. I can't wait to meet James at an upcoming convention. Yes, you're gonna be there. Yay!
I know.
So I cannot wait to meet him. He will forever be my deputy so-and-so. I just can't get enough of him. So yeah, I love Sinister. That's probably my favorite horror movie because it actually still scares me. No matter how many times I watch it, even right now, I could go watch it right now tonight, and as long as I don't sleep alone, I can't sleep. I can't watch it and then sleep alone because I will be terrified. I don't know why. It just gets to me somehow. As a kid, I thought I was a pretty hardcore kid. I did not really get scared by a lot. Whenever I was a kid, the movie that really scared me was Candyman.
Yes.
Now me and you, we love Candyman. We love Tony. We've both met him. He's amazing. He's friendly. I mean, he's just the nicest guy you could ever meet. I can't wait to meet him again at TFW 2020. I mean, you're going to be there.
So exciting.
Yay. So I love Tony. I love Candyman. He holds a special place in my heart because he was the first movie that scared me. I was with my grandma, just like you were with your grandma. I was with my grandma, and she lived in a really, really, really nice RV, and that's where she lived. And I had gone over there to visit her, and she had gotten Candyman, and she said that I could watch it as long as I didn't get scared. And I was like, of course. I'm like a horror buff, Grandma. I got this. So I watched Candyman, and of course I was terrified because somebody's coming through the mirror and gonna kill me. Like, what? And it speaks to children because of Bloody Mary. I mean, everybody did Bloody Mary as a child. I don't know one single person that did not go into the bathroom and do Bloody Mary as a child. It's part of your childhood.
Yes.
So to have somebody, to have this movie Candyman, it's like, this is real. This isn't a joke. Like, somebody will literally come through the mirror and kill me. So needless to say, I did not want to take a bath that night. I did not want to go near the bathroom. My grandma was not very happy with me. She was pretty agitated. I was like, I'm not going in there. You can't make me. So that was the first movie that scared me as a child. But I think it only scared me that one first time I watched it. After that, I love it. I love it. It's in Chicago. You're a Chicago native.
Yes.
I love Chicago. I love everything about it. I love Tony Todd. Yeah, it's great. And then now as an adult, the only movie I think that scares me as an adult is Sinister. That movie still scares me. And I don't know why. Maybe, like you said, maybe our listeners can kind of clue in to why Sinister scares me.
I think it's because you have several children, so you have a family. It's not just a one-child family. And in all of the cases in Sinister, it was a several-child family. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's part of it, because you're like, oh, they're gonna get me.
Yep. one of these days, one of them's gonna get me.
Yes. And that demon in Sinister is just so creepy. Yes. I still get goosebumps. Like that scene, that shot where he's looking at the freeze frame and he's in the bottom of the pool, and you just see him looking up at you. I get goosebumps every time.
It's just, and that's another thing about, like, we were, going back to the same thing about fairy tales and fables and stories that are told to children. Sinister is like the Pied Piper.
It really is.
And it's like, so it's basically retellings of these old fables that have been passed down from generation to generation. And it's just, I don't know, it just freaks me out. It gets to me. I don't know. The music, just the imagery, everything.
Well, that means it's a fantastic movie then. And it really doesn't get enough credit. It really doesn't. I never hear people talk about it, ever.
Yeah, Sinister doesn't get enough credit. I don't think there's enough Candyman merch. We have discussed this. We need more Candyman merch.
More Candyman merch. Candyman merch.
Yes, it is so hard to find.
It's so hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I recently commissioned, I believe her name is Funko Boss, Funkoboss. I commissioned her to make me a Candyman pop because I was outraged. I collect pops. I love pops.
Oh boy, do ya.
Yes, Summer knows. So whenever I saw there was not a Candyman pop, I was outraged. I was like, how? If this is, it's a classic. I mean, how can there not be a Candyman pop? It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. They've got to start working on this. We need a Candyman pop.
Yes, we
We
do.
need it. Yes,
Yes, we
need
do.
it.
I mean, especially since there are several Freddy Krueger models, several
Yes.
Pennywise models.
Several Jasons.
Right.
Yep.
I've seen 3 Krampuses, I think.
Yeah.
Different ones. How come we
Yeah.
can't get one single solitary little old Candyman?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a tragedy.
It is.
Well, I'm going to segue into this and tell you that my favorite horror movie ever is actually Candyman.
Ah.
And I know you know that, but I still say it and it still surprises people. And I mean, that not only is my favorite horror movie, that may actually be my favorite movie, period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
It's very personal to you. Yeah.
it's very personal. I love the imagery. I love the story. That is also a love story if you really look at it.
It is.
Now, and my husband is also African American descent.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I am Caucasian. So we have that going for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not completely oblivious to the fact that if we had fallen in love in, the 1800s instead of year 2000, we would not be able to be together today.
Yes.
So that story and how he got to how he is very, very deeply, deeply personal to me. And not only that, Tony Todd is hot.
Yes.
And I also realized a little while later, after I got married, that I married someone that resembled him. So
yes.
Tony Todd was my very first crush, and then I married someone that looked just like him.
Yes. And then you got to get pictures of you smashed in between them.
And that was amazing. I was in heaven.
Yep.
Could you see it? Could you see it?
Yes, I saw it. I know your faces. I saw those pictures. I was like, oh my God. And I wasn't there for that one. I missed that convention.
I was so mad at you.
Yes, I could see in the pictures. I was like, oh Lord.
Oh, yes. But I was very, very careful to make sure I leaned in towards my husband and not in towards Tony.
Yeah.
As hard as that was. No, but Tony's great, and he was hilarious. Yes. And I did tell him that he was my first crush, and he laughed so hard. And then I showed him, and I introduced him to my husband, and he's like, "Ah."
Yeah. Putting 2 and 2 together.
He got it. He got it. Mm-hmm. No, he's just such a lovely individual. He is very kind and gracious to all of his fans, and
yes, he is.
And that was amazing. And honestly, almost every celebrity at the conventions that I've been in contact with has been that way. Mm-hmm. I've never had a bad experience with a celebrity there. I know some people have had several bad experiences. I have not yet had one. Mm-hmm. So many of the horror actors are so amazing to their fans because they know that we have been following them for 30 years.
Yeah.
In some cases.
There are I've had a lot of great experiences. And then I've had some so-so experiences.
Yeah.
And we just have to remember that the actors are human. Mm-hmm. They have bad days too.
Yeah. Well, so-so is still not even bad,
Yeah, so-so is still not even that bad. And some people that I thought were going to be really bad that people warned me about were absolutely amazing.
Right.
So take what you hear with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And if you really want to meet somebody, don't let anybody discourage you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you don't know what they were going through at the time when they met that other person who had the bad experience. Yeah. Or maybe that other person may have even crossed the line and invaded their personal space, or they did something to make them react in a certain way. We don't know.
Yes.
Anything could have happened, or maybe they even just misinterpreted something and it wasn't really meant that way. So there's that. Okay, well, Tori, this is fun.
Yes, this is fun.
I think we're going to do some more episodes. What do you think?
I think so. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you want to hear. What do you want us to talk about?
Absolutely.
Do you want us to have a special guest on? Is there somebody that you want us to try to get to interview or to talk to? Do you want to be a guest?
Yes.
Give us a reason. Let us know why we should have you on. We want any and all feedback that you guys want to give us.
Good and bad, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yes, we don't yet. So you can find us on social media, The Dolls of Horror. And I believe you set us up a Facebook and a Twitter and recently a YouTube.
I did a YouTube and an Instagram. I haven't got on the Twitter bandwagon yet. I've got to get on that.
Okay.
But
yes, you do.
But yes, I do. I'm slacking. I'm sorry.
But
okay,
I
got us on the Facebook and the Instagram for sure. I've been doing that. I've been posting a lot of fun memes and getting to know people, talking to people. And I did just start the YouTube last night, where we will post videos from conventions, videos of the panels that I've attended, things like that. And maybe eventually we'll start doing some live feeds, because that looks pretty fun.
Yes. And I would like to throw it out there. Yes, we are on all those platforms that she mentioned, the Dolls of Horror. But I would like to say that she handles all that.
I do.
I don't really handle these social media accounts. I might hop on there from time to time, but if you want to say something to me or have a message for me, she will tell me.
Yeah,
she'll tell me. She'll let me know.
I'll forward it on and say, this one's for you.
Yep. And we are going to a convention, Days of the Dead, Chicago.
Whoop whoop.
Yep, that will be November 22nd.
Yeah. So
there should be lots of good stuff on there. We have already talked about some memes that we're going to make.
Yes.
Summer has had some pretty great ideas. I'm so excited to make that one. I was like, yes.
I'm so excited too. This is going to be amazing.
So we like to have fun. We like to have fun. So if you see us, at a convention, don't be afraid to say hi. We like to have fun, so we're gonna have some memes for you guys.
And we love to make new friends. We love talking to people.
Yes, we love making new friends. We love meeting fellow horror fanatics.
Definitely.
So yeah, don't be afraid to give us a like on Facebook. Send us a message. Give us a like on any social media platform. If you want to just write a message and say, hey, I really enjoyed you guys. What's up? Just anything. We will talk to you. And we're not afraid.
We also do have an actual email if you prefer email. And that is thedollsofhorror@yahoo.com. So if some people don't like the Facebook messaging or the Instagram messaging, we got good old fashioned email there for you too. Which I get on every other day or so right now. So.
Yes. And I will say, since you're putting that out there that some people might not like Facebook, this is a contradiction, because you can talk to me. I will talk back. I will see you in public. I will say hi. We can talk, but I do not really do social media. I like to stay anonymous. I don't try to look up me specifically, because you won't find me. So if you want to get in contact with me, the Dolls of Horror is the best.
Definitely.
So, just want to throw that out there. Don't go looking for me, because I don't exist.
She tries her best.
Yes, I try my best.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's all going to be fun, and I've already made some friends through those pages, and I've been talking about the podcast, and I've been collecting feedback before we even started, and it has been quite useful. So I'm so thankful to everyone I've gotten to talk to, and the feedback I've gotten from people I have talked to. They are so excited for this podcast. And
Great.
that is so exciting for me to hear that
Yes.
people are actually excited. And we haven't even had episode 1 yet.
Yes, I have. I've talked to a couple people that are very excited about it, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be on it. I want to be a guest." And I'm like, "Awesome!
Definitely.
That's great." Oh yeah, I would like to say that there's a couple things I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have commissioned an artist to do some official Dolls of Horror artwork.
Yes.
Because let's talk about how we chose our name. You really like dolls.
I love dolls.
And I knew that. So I was like, oh, we were trying to think of a name. I was like, how about the Dolls of Horror? And you're like, yes. So now we would like to cosplay as dolls.
Yes. Now, not cosplay as like Chucky or Annabelle.
Yeah,
we
but
are
ourselves.
our own dolls. We are
Yes.
us as dolls.
Yes, we are us as dolls. So I was thinking, we would have some artwork drawn up and have me and Summer drawn as dolls
by this fantastic artist. Oh my goodness, his work is amazing.
Yes, I met him at the Mothman Festival in West Virginia, which is my first time going. I loved it. I bought some of his artwork, and then I later connected with him on Facebook, and I've already hired him to do a different commission for me and my family. So he's great. And I as soon as we started talking about getting some merchandise together, I was like, he has to draw us. He has to draw us as dolls. He will be amazing. So we're going to be doing that.
What's his name again?
Jason Shepard.
And he's on the Facebook, right?
He is on the Facebook, Jason Shepard Official. And he might be a future guest after we get some artwork from him and
figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, and figure out what we're doing. He also has his own podcast, I believe.
Yeah, I just heard about that yesterday, I think.
Yeah. He has his own podcast. He's a great artist. He's very friendly. So be looking for his artwork, because I'm very excited to have him draw me and Summer as dolls.
I'm so excited.
Amazing.
So amazing.
Yes, amazing. So we have some great connections, but we want more connections. We want to know, where do you guys buy your horror merchandise?
Definitely.
Where can we get cool horror merchandise? Just anything and everything you guys can think of, even if it's not horror related, you can still message us.
Oh, for sure. And let's talk about this real quick, since you brought it up. You and we both buy a lot of horror merch.
Yes.
What do you have a favorite go-to store? Because I got a couple that I just adore. I'll start while you think.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you start.
So first I got to mention Nightmare Toys.
Yes, of course. I cannot wait to shop Nightmare Toys at the convention. I cannot wait.
My first experience with Nightmare Toys was I bought a Friday the 13th Part 5 mask. The one with the blue triangles instead of the red ones. Roy's mask. And I also bought the Leech Woman replica doll from Puppet Master. And I knew nothing about the store. I had actually never heard of them. I saw it on social media at some point. I don't remember which platform. And the customer service at the store is fantastic. The owner of the store called me personally to tell me that my packages would be shipped in 2 different shipments. So not to worry, I'll get all my stuff. It's on the way. And I have never received such good customer service. Like, nobody reaches out to tell you that stuff.
Yes.
And I have since become friends with this individual. Her name is Christy. And she is amazing. And I am so excited to hang out with her at Days of the Dead, because she's a hoot. I adore her.
I've never met her, and I've never bought anything from her, but I will be meeting her, and I will be spending money.
Yes, so we'll be spending money at Nightmare Toys.
Yes, we will.
And Nightmare Toys also has a lot of really good sales too. I know this is like a Nightmare Toys pitch, but they're not a sponsor. They don't give me anything. They don't even know I'm talking about them right now. But for pretty much a lot of holidays, they'll have a 15% off sale and whatnot. So if you're on the market for something, just keep an eye out for their sales, because they got some really good sales.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and why spend
Mm-hmm.
more money for
Mm-hmm.
stuff when you can get a sale?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you can buy more stuff.
Yes. Yes.
I also quite enjoy Trick or Treat Studios for some things.
Okay.
And
That's one I haven't heard of.
yeah, and they're the ones that did my Good Guy doll.
Oh, okay.
But Nightmare Toys also sells some items from Trick or Treat Studios.
Okay.
And they are really good. They got replicas and stuff that are spot on.
Mm-hmm.
They made my Billy doll from Saw. They made my Gizmo, my little Gizmo doll. And they do some really amazing masks too.
Yeah.
So Trick or Treat Studios and Nightmare Toys. Those are my go-tos.
Okay. I I'm just now discovering small business and what kind of horror merch they offer. I love shopping small. I love supporting people. Um, I just love it. For the most part, I get my horror merch from FYE, a store at the mall. They have all kinds of stuff. I love FYE. I'm a member at FYE. I love it. Also the bookstore, Books a Million. They have pops and books and kinds of great horror merch. Amazon, Etsy. Um, I basically just type in what I want and whatever pops up, that's it. That's where I shop at. I will say that Scream Prints, that's SCREAM Prints, they do some really great mashups. And that guy is the nicest guy. I've seen him at a couple different conventions. I have so many mashups. It's ridiculous. He does the Disney and horror mashups, and I have so many of them. I love them. I frame them. They're hanging up. I've gotten a couple of them signed.
Wow.
Now, for those of you that might not know what a mashup is, I recently bought one that was Candyman and Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
I adore that one. I knew I had to have it the second I saw it. There's also a Little Mermaid and Jason. So check out Screen Prints. He's very reasonably priced. I love his work. I can't wait to order more. Also, she's on Facebook. Her name is Misfit Mombi, and she makes really great jewelry, mirrors, compacts. She can do just about anything you want. And she it's all horror. I just recently placed a really big order with her, and it came in, and it's great, and I love it. It's my poltergeist necklace, and I was like, "Summer, my necklace finally came!" So I love my poltergeist necklace.
To which I promptly said, "Stop shopping."
Yeah, stop shopping. So I can't stop. It's an addiction.
Tori has a
Be looking.
problem.
Yes, be looking for that meme, everybody, because there's gonna be a meme.
It's going to be great.
Of Tori and Summer arguing about shopping.
Yes.
So her name's Misfit Mombi. She's great. She can do just about anything. I love her. Also, I have to give a shout out to London 1888. I believe that's correct. Their pins, I've seen them at conventions. I collect enamel pins. I love their pins. I love their shirts, their hoodies. I got the hoodie from them that Summer loves and is jealous of.
Yes.
It's a Nightmare on Elm Street hoodie. I recently placed a very big order with them as well for my NES Jason, because I love the NES Jason, Nintendo Jason 8-bit.
Yeah.
So I just love it. I will be wearing some of my 8-bit Jason stuff 2 Days of the Dead. I just love it. Check them out. Check out London 1888. Check out Misfit Mombi on Facebook. Check out Etsy, Amazon, Screen Prints. They all have great stuff. There's so much great horror merch out there.
Oh, I thought of one more.
Okay.
Speaking of small business,
Mm-hmm.
Eclectic Boutique. I'm not sure how to spell it, but it's no special spelling. It's just Eclectic Boutique on Etsy. She's also has a Facebook and Instagram page. She does jewelry. She does horror necklaces, earrings, dangle earrings, really cute earrings.
I've seen those. You showed me those. Yes.
I have commissioned her to make 2 custom pieces, and she works with you. She is amazing. I had her make a sleepaway camp earring with Angela in her screaming face, you know? And then the dangle is a curling iron. And if you've seen Sleepaway Camp, you know what that means. And then after flashback weekend of this year, I had her made a Debbie from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 earring, which is Debbie's face, and then the dangle is a roach, a cockroach, because we all know how she made her demise. But her work is amazing, and she hand draws all this stuff. And I have a Hellraiser piece from her. I have a Candyman earrings. I got Freddy Krueger earrings. I've got Jason Voorhees earrings. I have a necklace, which is Alice in the canoe from Friday the 13th, Part 1, and then young Jason coming out of the water. I have that necklace. I have so much of her stuff, and she is amazing. And if you need something custom along those lines, check her work out. And it's also very light. It's very comfortable to wear.
Yes.
So it's not like a big heavy piece. I don't even know I'm wearing the earrings really, because they're just super light. But yeah, she is great for custom pieces as well.
Yeah. So we're both jewelry whores, apparently. I have so much jewelry.
I know.
And then I have so much jewelry, and then as soon as I discovered horror jewelry, I'm like, oh my God, buy it all.
I had a little bit of jewelry, not much I cared about. I really only cared about the jewelry that my husband had given to me, which wasn't much. But I'm in love with my horror pieces now, too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I didn't mean to turn this into an advertisement, but I just thought it was very important to let people know about where you can get all the cool stuff that we got.
Yeah, and we want to know where you guys get your cool stuff.
Because we want more cool stuff.
Yeah, we want to spend more money.
Yes.
We don't spend enough as it is. We got to spend more.
Anything to get Tori away from buying pops.
I'm almost out of room.
You'll make more room.
It's going to have to stop. I think I want to start collecting masks.
Oh, dear.
But that's a whole other thing.
That's even bigger.
I know. Well, I have a very special pop shelf, and my pop shelf is almost full.
You're going to build a new pop shelf.
Top of my room. What?
You're going to build a new pop shelf.
Yeah, I'll do something or something. Something's going to give.
All right.
Yeah. So, we are going to have more episodes.
Yes.
Yes. So the next episode is going to be about Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, it is, because I figured that would be the most appropriate episode to have for an official number 1, since that is how we met, and that's how our friendship started, and that is why we're doing this today.
Yes, and that was the first time both of us met Robert, I believe.
Yes.
It was in 2017.
Yep.
Yeah, I cried. Yep.
I didn't cry, but I couldn't speak. I kind of stuttered. I don't even remember what I said. I just think I mumbled something.
I saw him sitting at his table. I wasn't even in line yet. I was just walking around the convention. I saw him sitting at this table, and I was like, oh my God, that's Robert Englund. And I literally started crying. And then later at the VIP party, I took a very, very nice selfie with him. And I'm very particular about my selfies. So whenever I took an amazing selfie with Robert, I literally burst into tears. I was walking away crying. I was like, I got a selfie with Robert. It's amazing. Yeah. So that's how it all started. So Nightmare on Elm Street. That's going to be our first official episode. And go ahead and tell them what we're going to be talking about.
Well, we are going to hit on several points of the movies that we speak of. We're going to, of course, rate the movie on 1 to 10. That's pretty general. But we're also going to break it down and talk about our favorite kill and why. And we're going to talk about kill creativity. We're going to talk about what we thought about the acting quality and the special effects and the soundtrack and the story. And, of course, as promised, girly stuff, we're going to have a fashion pick.
Yes.
And
I love my fashion pick.
that fashion pick can be anything under the sun. It can be a watch, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just something
Mm-hmm.
fashion wise that really jumped out at you or us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about an epic line. We're going to pick one line from the movie that really just went,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's a good line. It could be funny, it could be hard hitting, it could be like moving. So we're going to have our epic line. We're going to talk about, the pacing and how well it aged and, those basic points.
Yep.
And not all of these categories may fit with every movie, but we're going to do our best. And it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. That's what we're here for, is fun.
Fun all the time.
Yes. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, that's why. And we hope that you guys have just as much fun with us as we have doing this.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so with that, Tori, shall we wrap it up?
Sure.
Okay. So this is the Dolls of Horror signing off. We hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful week, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.
See ya.